Hi, my name is Ryan Ortega, and this is why Batman is my favorite superhero. Who here knows who Batman is? That was a trick question. Everyone knows who Batman is. Don't lie. All right. What's your guys' favorite Batman stories? Great. So, why does everyone know about Batman? Like Batman is just such a big figure. What makes him so special? Because he is the most influential and the best comic book superhero of all time, par none. He is the coolest superhero of all time, and he's obviously my favorite. And so that's what this presentation is going to be talking about. Why Batman is my favorite superhero. So the main reasons why I love Batman is because of Batman the animated series, Batman's rich history through media, and the man who Batman is. So to kick things off, Batman the Animated Series. According to a novel titled Batman the Animated Series, written by Joseph Sanders, the show was a product of the Tim Burton movies, originally premiering in September 5th of 1992. Upon its release, it was an immediate success. Like, it was just the biggest. It was big, it was popular, it was great. Everyone loved this show. So, what got me into it? My dad. And ever since I was a kid, I was into Batman, and this show is the main reason why. I mean, my dad and mom showed me a ton of different superhero media. I've seen Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, everything. But the one that really stuck with me was Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And what makes him so special to me? I'm glad you asked. That's because, number one, Kevin Conroy's voice acting is just the best version of Batman you're ever going to get. I mean, really, this is the first time he ever voice acts in general, and the first time he voice acts for Batman. And he later goes on to do Batman in a number of different things, like movies, shows, like video games. He does a lot. And for me, Kevin Conroy's always been the definitive voice of Batman because of this show. So, going on to the next thing. This show also influenced a lot of different comics and stories. Before this, Mr. Freeze was kind of just like a villain of the day type of thing. He wasn't really too serious. He was kind of very jokey, very like silly. But this show redefined his origin. This made Mr. Freeze into a tragic character who did crime to solve his wife's illness, and it gave him like an entire like physical redesign as well. And this influenced a ton of different Batman comics to go on because they would use this version of Mr. Freeze and not the old silly one. Another thing it added was Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn just wasn't a character before this show. I mean, she just didn't exist at all. So without this show, I mean, you wouldn't get, like movies like Suicide Squad or, Birds of Prey or different things with Harley Quinn in them without this show. And another thing why I love this show is because we get a much, much more emotional Batman who has a whole range of emotions rather than just stoicism and anger. When in most Batman media now, and what really irks me is Batman not having a range of emotions, not being able to tell how Batman feels. And I think honestly, it just makes Batman a more shallow character. And I think this show really did the best job, and this goes hand in hand with Kevin Conroy's voice acting. It just shows how Batman feels, and it kind of adds to Batman not really being like he is a superhero, but he's not larger than life. He is something achievable. Batman is someone like you and me, and it makes him way more relatable than any other superhero. So obviously, I love Batman the animated series. This is probably my favorite media of Batman of all time. Like no one beats this in my opinion. But that doesn't mean I don't love other Batman media. So another reason why I love Batman is because of his rich history. According to a novel titled Batman: The Complete History: The Life and Times of the Dark Knight, written by Les Daniels, Batman's first appearance was in Detective Comics issue number 27 in May of 1939. Fun fact, Batman actually had a gun in this one and he killed people, but they changed that later. Robin's first appearance was in issue number 38, and his first solo title was in April of 1940. So, then we have the Adam West show in 1966. And this whole era of comics and, in the show really is just a sillier. Batman isn't going on too crazy adventures. I mean, even this screenshot is of Batman in a surfing contest with the Joker. So these weren't really meant to be taken too seriously. They're kind of lighthearted. And, they just weren't as dark or gritty as modern Batman is. And so heading into 1986, nearly 20 years later after this show aired, comes Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. And let me tell you, this is one of the most important comics of Batman's of all time. Before this, we had the jokey Batman where he's not really fighting anyone that serious. It's mostly just fun and games. And while that's cool, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns really rewrites the character in every way. It gives us a grittier Batman. It gives us a Batman who kills. It gives us a Batman who is way more violent and older. And it just does it just revolutionized Batman as a whole in the modern day. And after this comic released and was so successful, after it gained that much success, comes different Batman comics which have darker and more grittier stories. For example, Batman Year One deals with Batman going against criminal corruption and goes against corruption in the government. And then we have Batman: A Death in the Family, where Batman is having to deal with the death of a Robin, and so you just see this massive turn from where Batman was to who Batman is then. And then comes Batman 1989, Tim Burton, I think it's Tim Burton, the Tim Burton movies. My God, did these movies really revolutionize who Batman is today and really help who he is in the modern day? Because without these movies, you wouldn't have elements like a noir, like gothic kind of Gotham. You wouldn't have a serious, Batman. This is what really launched Batman into the mainstream with Michael Keaton starring in these movies. And so Tim Burton's interpretation just really revolutionized who Batman was. And it kind of took inspiration from these darker and grittier comics and it really made Batman who he is today. And honestly, this was the outline for what modern Batman is now. And so after this, this is what I like to call the modern era. It's kind of what we're in right now. We get Batman the animated series. We get Batman Begins, which was a much more modern take on the character and a much more grounded one. And then we have the Batman 2021, where it adds elements like a noir Gotham, kind of gothic vibe, but it also adds the detective stuff, and it also adds like kind of like it's still grounded is what I mean. So but what I could make an entirely different presentation on the different types of media and the things Batman's been in. But what makes Batman so special? What makes him like such a relevant character to where everyone wants to make stories of him, everyone wants to make movies, everyone wants to put Batman into their medium, into their stories? What makes him so important? What makes him so polarizing? Well, for me, that's the man in Batman. According to Pascal DeMarco, the author of The Batman Phenomenon, he states Batman is more than just a superhero. He is a symbol of hope, justice, and the indomitable human spirit. And I couldn't agree more. Before I get into this, let me just show you this clip from Batman the Animated Series, which really sparked my love for Batman as a whole. If I can get it to play. Coolest clip you've ever seen, right? And so this kind of goes into what I'm going to be talking about. So you see Batman go against people like Scarecrow who have hallucinogenic like toxins that make him see his worst fears. You see Batman go against people like Bane, Scarecrow, the Joker, Killer Croc, all these horrifying villains. And not only that, but in the downtime between when he's dealing with these criminals and these super criminals and other super criminals, he's having to deal with just petty thieves and people who are committing crimes every night. He has to do this every single night. And it's not like Batman wins everything. I mean, sure, he usually wins in the end, but Batman also loses a lot. I mean, he lost his parents. He lost a Robin. He was crippled by the crime in Gotham. And, you know, with all these things, with all these factors of things that just hurt Batman and really like mess with him both mentally and physically and emotionally, why does Batman keep going? What makes Batman such a polarizing what makes Batman such a strong and important character in all of fiction is because Batman, no matter what he goes through, no matter what trauma he has, and no matter what emotional issues he has, he always perseveres, no matter what. Batman Batman could be crippled. You could murder someone really close to Batman and he would never stop going and to solve problems and crimes in Gotham. He keeps going. And that's what I love about Batman is because everyone's going to deal with something hard in life. Everyone's going to deal with something traumatic. That's just the nature of it. But to be like Batman is to go through those things and then keep pushing yourself forward day by day, or in Batman's case, night by night. And that is the main, like, crucial reason why I love Batman is because no matter what he's going through, he gets through it, and he's a better man because of it. So, in conclusion, the reasons why I love Batman is because Batman the Animated Series, it was the first thing that really got me into Batman, and it was very nostalgic for me. I also love Batman's history in comics, and I think it's really interesting to see how Batman evolved since his debut in 1939 all the way to the modern day. And then we have the man who Batman is. Now, everyone, everyone, like I've said before, you're going to go through something hard, you're going to go through something tough, but what you should ask yourselves, no matter what situation you're in, what would Batman do? Thank you guys all for listening. And before I go, I would just like to add some comics that I love, some shows, and some movies. If this got you excited for Batman, if this made you like really want to check him out more, go check out some of this stuff. This is some of the best movies, in my opinion, some of the best comics. Just the greatest stuff you can find. So thank you all for listening and have a wonderful day.